Katt Williams went on Club Shay Shay and went on I'm gonna call it a rampage, just talking about all of the original people who garnered them as the kings of comedy, and some new guys and people who he's worked with as far as comedians and things like that. Just letting Club Shay Shay and the world know like they're liars and they're thieves, basically. So for all of y'all that don't know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all do, Katt Williams was calling everybody out. He talked about Cedric the Entertainer. He talked about Steve Harvey. He talked about Michael Blackson, Kevin Hart. He talked about Ludacris, a lot of different people, man. So
how did Ludacris get it straight? I understand. Did
you hear the story though?
Sharp asked him the question, but like really? Like that's how you had to go? I mean, come on.
But you heard the story that he told about Ludacris. So Ludacris basically and Ludacris is one of those stories that I was like, okay, that's he say, she say, that might not be true. I can believe him a lot about what he says about the comics, but the one about Ludacris was kind of off-putting to me because he said it was a Illuminati meeting. One of them had to cut the hair off and the jagged sideburns, and they would get $50 million or a bunch of money. I don't know,
$200 million
in a 20 movie contract. If they did some things, and he said he had to keep his virgin hole intact to not take that money in that 20 movie deal. But apparently Ludacris took it. And then he made the comment of, well, what number is Fast and Furious on? Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like that when I was like, that's kind of off-putting. But the ones about the comedians, that was the one that I was like, yo, he owned to something. What you think about what Katt Williams said in this interview, bro?
I mean, my thing is, it's a couple ways that you could take it, right? Mm-hmm. So you can say, okay, Katt's up there telling nothing but the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You can say Katt's up there telling nothing but lies, or you can say Katt is trying to stir up some controversy to move the needle for his current tour. You can look at all those ways. Mm-hmm. So I've never really known Katt Williams in the interviews that he's done, because he doesn't do a lot of interviews that I know of. But I've never known him to lie or to be a liar.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder what place he's coming from when he's talking about individuals in his industry that, other than Ricky Smiley, who sat on that same couch that he sat on, and Cedric the Entertainer, who sat on that same couch he sat on when he was talking to Unc at Club Shay Shay.
Mm-hmm.
Other than those two, nobody's really talked about Katt directly in 4 or 5 years, I want to say. I don't know when was Kevin Hart on The Breakfast Club and he did that?
That was like 2 years ago when him and Tiffany Haddish was on there at the same time. I think that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 years ago.
Okay, so 2 years ago. And so I guess, so then you can add Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish in that spat that he had there. But he literally talked about everybody. And I'm gonna take a bit from one of his comedy shows. When I say he talked about everybody, he talked about everybody
and everything, everything and everybody.
Everything. He talked about everybody. He talked about Jonathan Majors. He talked about Kanye and Kim Kardashian. Mm-hmm. He talked about Jussie Smollett. Mm-hmm. He talked about Ludacris. It's like, dang, bro, you got a problem with everybody? And so it is. So I say all that to say I don't know or have never known Katt Williams to be a liar, but when he talks about individuals that seem to have a perceived higher status than him, even in his industry and just throughout entertainment in general, it can seem like he's coming from a place of malice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do know that he's a very smart individual. Mm-hmm. You can tell that in his comedy as well. And so he may know a lot of things and probably has kept all of that inside and, as personal knowledge up until this point. And then this one thing that he said in the interview as well, he says 2024 will be the year that all the lies are exposed. Mm-hmm. So is he the messenger, or is he just the person? Because he also said something else, that all all division divides, or is he just the person that's going to divide us or divide the entertainment industry? I mean, it's just a lot. It's a bunch of different ways, a lot of emotions, a lot of thought that needs to go into this meeting or not meeting, this interview. When you watch it, you probably have to watch it a couple of times. I got to go back and watch it again and see what I missed. And it was just shocking. Like, dang, this man's really talking about everybody. And he, as soon, I know I'm going on long here. No, as soon as the interview started, he went in like, all right, Katt, let me tell you about this person. I'm like, dang, what?
Yeah, he was going crazy. And I was watching the interview after that Unc did with Gilbert Arenas, and he was like, if I let everybody else tell it, we should have been recorded before he walked in, because he was on 10 when he first walked in that motherfucker. Yeah. So, but to take what you said, the three things that you said you can either be he's telling the truth, or he's lying, or he's promoting his next tour that he's got, his 100 city tour that he's about to do, his 20th 100 city tour.
No, he's doing it right now.
Or he's on. Okay, he's touring right now. So he's either doing it for good, bad, or promotion. So I went through, and this was the one that I researched the most as far as the topics that we're talking about today. This is one I researched the most, because the rest of them I have a pretty good knowledge about. But this one right here, I had to actually look into. And when it comes to the comedians that he called out, the Steve Harveys, the Michael Blacksons, the Cedric Entertainers, the Kevin Hart's, the Tiffany Haddishes, the Faison Loves that he talked about. He talked about all of these people. Mm-hmm. I can see why he says that they're all, because he made a comment and he was like, why do liars lie? Nobody knows why liars lie. They just lie. Like, liars are just liars. Nobody can explain why they do what they do. And he went on and talked about how all of these comedians steal material. And he says that they're all they're not writers. And it took me, and it made me think about, and I think you know this, one of my favorite TV shows of all time is Seinfeld. Seinfeld is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And a lot of my black friends clown me for it because they don't understand why I like that kind of humor. But to me, it's a funny ass show. And the thing that I respected about Seinfeld is that he wrote his jokes. He literally wrote his jokes. He was a writer before he was a comedian. And the thing about the craft is that you write a joke and you craft it as you go along. The more you tell that joke, the more it evolves and the better it gets. And it was even times in that show in Seinfeld where he would literally show himself waking up out of his sleep. Like, damn, let me write that down. I think that'd be funny. Like, because they're writers. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and he was going on and on about how Steve Harvey, Cedric Entertainer, they're not writers, they're entertainers. That's why Cedric's name is Cedric the Entertainer, because he entertains people. And as I was researching,
even in that though, he said something about, and not to take you off your box right there, but even in that though, he said that Cedric the Entertainer, when his name is Entertainer, that means he's supposed to be able to sing, dance, tell jokes. He can't sing, he can't dance, and he doesn't have he doesn't have any specials on Netflix or Tubi. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, Cedric does have
but he is
on Tubi. On Netflix.
He had one, but is it still on there? Because I remember it was there like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I don't even know if it's there no more. I didn't look into that part.
I mean, he had it though.
Yeah, true. But that goes back to the point that Katt Williams said, was like, I have 12.
Does he?
Yeah. He said he has 12 Netflix specials. And he's still on contract now.
That's what I'm saying. He's
10-figure contracts. Yeah.
Yeah, he's had.
Okay. So well, if that's the case, then Cedric Entertainer had one that we can even remember. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But still.
But then Faison Love says it's easy to get Netflix deals and he ain't even got one. You see what I'm saying?
But is he even acting anymore? So I mean, it's like.
But he's supposed to be a comic. It's stand-up comedy, right?
I mean, shit, I don't know. I mean, we were once football players. Are we not football players anymore? No, we're not. But we did play football.
Yeah. But if you claim to be a stand-up comic and you don't have one stand-up comedy show that anybody can think of, then are you really a stand-up comic? We actually were on the field.
I'm not defending these guys.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I'm saying like this is where I'm saying like it's either he's telling the truth, he's lying, or he's promoting. I don't know which one it is because if you dig a little deep, like a lot of what he said, there's absolutely truth, but then there's some of it he stretched a bit, which technically that's a lie.
What did he stretch?
He said what you just said. Cedric Entertainer does not have didn't have any specials on Netflix.
He said
he's had one.
Cedric Entertainer doesn't have one that you can find still on Netflix or Tubi.
I don't think that's what he said.
Okay,
but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, he said you can't find one of Cedric Entertainer's specials on Netflix or Tubi. But either way, well, that's neither here nor there. But to get back to the point of stealing the jokes, I was researching deeper. The one about Cedric Entertainer and the car with the loud music joke that he says that Katt Williams says Cedric Entertainer stole from him. Mm-hmm. It has a lot to do with what DeLon spoke about a couple of times in a few episodes back about intellectual property and being able to protect your intellectual property. For someone to steal a joke, and it don't matter how much you change that joke. If you stole that joke from somebody, you at least have to be able to credit somebody for that joke, because rappers have it in there. Rappers have avenues to where they can sue people for using their intellectual property. Actors, photographers, they have ways that they can sue people for using their intellectual property or what they say is theirs, right? But comedians don't have that. Don't seem to have that avenue, right? So he's coming out and talking about how Cedric stole his joke, how Steve Harvey stole. Interview, he said, I'm coming here to set the record straight because you had 3 comedians here that told you things about me that were blatant lies, and I need to tell you what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? And
did Steve Harvey actually talk about him though?
I didn't see Steve Harvey's interview, so I'm not sure.
I don't think if Steve Harvey said something about him, I don't recall that. I know for sure that Cedric the Entertainer, because Cedric Entertainer talked about him.
He was asked that question, yeah.
And Ricky Smiley talked about him because Unc asked him that question, but then asked Cedric the Entertainer the question about stealing the joke. But then also Ricky Smiley freely gave up that he was supposed to be Money Mike, which Ice Cube has set that record straight. He said they both
auditioned for it, but they
had a ton of comedians audition for Money Mike. So, but then and he probably was they envisioned that he was going to be good for it, but
they thought
when he actually interviewed, he realized he was probably going to be a better Santa Claus.
Yeah, I saw that too. But see, the thing is that there's so many videos and interviews and articles out there that support what Katt Williams is saying, which is the crazy part. Because when I was researching a lot of things, it was like, damn, he did steal Mark Curry's content. He did steal his jokes in his show. Damn, he did take his joke, and Cedric Entertainer did take his joke and change it up and make it his closing joke. And then you look at, the whole thing with Ricky Smiley, and it's like, damn, I haven't seen a movie with Ricky Smiley where he wasn't in a dress and a wig, dressed up like a woman. Damn, Kevin, you right, Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he really came up here and talked about everybody. And the one thing that I pass back to you. The one thing that I was talking to, I talked to my gamer homies, you know what I'm saying, every once in a while about different things that we're going to talk about on the podcast. And the thing that I told them was, if a lot of these things weren't true, then number one, they would have facts to debunk them, which I haven't seen it yet. And it's been Wednesday, so it's only Saturday, so we'll see. But they would either come out with facts to debunk what he's saying, or if they did, and they would come with the same energy that Katt Williams came on that show. Because a lot of them, even though they are putting out statements, it's like solemn and like, he's just looking for attention and don't believe the hype or yada, yada, yada. But they're not giving factual information to where it's not true. And they're not on the same energy that Katt Williams came with. Now, and he also, of course, Katt Williams was drinking, but he was like, I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had less than you. I'm in my clear mind. They want to make me out to be the bad person because I won't do the things in Hollywood that they'll do for the money type shit. And it's like all of these tours that he's done, he's funded himself. He owns his own intellectual property. It's a lot of things that Katt Williams have done differently that is away from the industry. And that's why he's saying that he doesn't get a lot of the breaks and trying to make him seem like the bad person that he's not. He's never been on a hard drug in his life. Said he smoked weed and smoked cigarettes. That's it. He's never done any hard drug in his life. A single father of 7 kids. Like he's adopted most of those children. So it's like, bro, like, I don't see any reason why Katt Williams would have to lie, but he went ham. Bro went crazy.
No. So I know the stance that I've taken so far, or that I've seemed to take so far, is against Katt Williams. That's not the stance that I'm taking. I do believe that there is a ton of truth in what he said. He went on Unc's show and said, I believe that we talk about all the time. We know that there is a dark side, a weird side to Hollywood where people do things that, you typically wouldn't do, sell your soul, so to speak. So we talked about selling your soul and the many different things of what selling your soul is. And so we know that people do get themselves involved in that type of activity so that they can elevate and get the type of money that we all talk about, or the type of fame that we all talk about. My question is, other than the 3 that you mentioned, or that has been mentioned, Cedric the Entertainer,
Ricky Smiley,
Steve Harvey, Harvey, because he said that Steve Harvey disrespected Bernie Mac, Ricky Smiley. So 4 actually. So Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and Kevin Hart. Other than those 4, why did he have to talk about everybody else? Why did he have to involve everybody else in it?
Because Faizon Love came out, and the reason why he said something about Faizon Love is because Faizon Love made that statement that it was easy to get a Netflix special. It was easy to get a Netflix special. That's why he said something about Faizon. Of course, Faizon doesn't have one, and he has 12, and still has a Netflix special contract now. The thing about Luda was, it was kind of off-putting, but just like I was saying, I talked to my gaming buddies, and I was like, what Kevin Hart said was kind of like, you can't really, but we watched Ludacris in real time go from afro the size of Jumanji to a shortcut with no beard. We watched him in real time go from bitch, get out the way, to fucking Fast and Furious with no braids, no fro, no beard. We saw it. And I was like,
praising Fast and Furious.
But we saw him. We literally saw him in real time cut his hair off and cut his beard off. Because what he said, we literally saw him go to a low cut with no beard. With what I got,
I understand that. I understand that, and I'm not saying what Katt Williams implied.
That's the only story that I was like, I can't. I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt.
So the reason I'm rebutting or refuting kind of what you're saying is, when Ludacris had the fro, the braids, and the sideburns,
the crazy sideburn beard,
with all that designs and stuff, he was young. That was also the thing back then, and then that shit went away. Like it was a while, other than Kawhi Leonard and a couple of individuals, that niggas was wearing braids. Everybody cut their hair. Everybody did that. We get older, we mature. That's just a part of life. And now braids are coming back. So you start to see more people wearing braids and whatnot. So I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it's also, if that was a part of his deal with the Illuminati, as Katt Williams implied, then that was a great thing. That was a great deal that the Illuminati put to hide in front of us, because literally everybody during that time that had braids and whatnot cut their braids. Bow Wow cut his braids. Omarion cut his braids. I mean, everybody in the entertainment industry around that time started cutting their hair off. So
I get it. No, I get it. And I tend to agree with you. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, well, damn, like, he might have it might be some truth to what he's saying, but I don't know. I mean, but that was the only one. But it was like, yeah, the Ludacris thing is kind of iffy. But we actually saw the progression of what he was saying. But just like you said, everybody was doing it. But I don't know, man. And then, of course, Tiffany Haddish called Astray. Faison Love called Astray. It was a lot of different people that called
Jonathan Majors called
Astray. Diddy called Astray.
Fucking,
it was a lot of people. Like Michael Blackson was in there catching strays and talking about how he told him to stop wearing the dirty dashikis and put on some fly clothes and go build a school in Africa
and stop using the accent. I've never heard Michael Blackson, and again, we don't know these people personally. We only know them entertainment wise.
Yeah,
never heard Michael Blackson use anything other than the African accent.
Yeah,
and multiple people have said I've never heard him use anything other than an African accent. So,
exactly. Tyler Perry called Astray, like,
yeah.
As far as same thing. Ricky Smiley, same thing about Ricky Smiley wearing a dress, playing a woman. That's the best role that they can play because they play women better than they play men. And whenever you. I mean,
that's a matter of opinion.
It is a matter of opinion. But if you look at Tyler Perry though, his star is Madea. Anytime that he plays another role, the role of a man, it just don't seem right. That is my. But that is, like you said, it's a matter of opinion.
That's what we know him as. That's what he made his brand from. Is Madea.
But he was playing. But that he was playing that role even before he took it to the big screen. Because
exactly.
He was playing it in plays too.
He
went to the chitlin circuit.
I mean, that's how he started making movies because Madea the Plague was doing so well that he moved into making movies based on Madea, and the crowd that he created in the chitlin circuit was drawn to the movies, and then it just expanded from there. I mean, I'm not saying any of this is right. I'm not saying that wearing a dress is the right thing to do to become a star, and that is not what the stereotype for how you cross over and become the star that you most people want to become for Black actors. But some individuals, I don't even know how to word this. Some individuals, that's how they made their brand. And so because they made their brand like that, the people like Tyler Perry, the people like Ricky Smiley, who, they've been doing it from the beginning, for them to continue to do it, I don't think we can see them any other way because that's what we know them as before they blew up. Now, these individuals that he's talking about, I don't recall Kevin Hart having any homosexual roles in any movie that he's been in.
Not fully homosexual. He said there were scenes that came across as homosexual. It was an actual full role of homosexuality. It was something in the movie that he didn't agree with, that he wanted to rewrite. And they were like, okay, cool. But then they went and gave it to Kevin Hart, and he did it exactly how they planned it out, type of thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean,
but the other Martin Lawrence Carter.
I was just about to say Martin Lawrence Carter straight for Big Mama's house.
I mean, so I mean, I don't know, man, and I know I'm fumbling with this just because it's so conflicting. Again, you don't know if he's really telling the truth. You don't know if he's lying. You don't know if he's just using this for pub. But everybody is talking about this because he went nuclear.
He went deaf.
Club Shay Shay.
What Kanye say? He went DEFCON.
I mean, he
went crazy.
Went all in.
He did
from 0.0000 to 2 hours 46 minutes and 47 seconds. He was
going off, and it was like, but that's the thing though. Like a lot of it is a lot of it can be truth. Some of it can be speculation. The thing that I do kind of believe in was the stuff that he was saying about the comedians. I can see, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, because I've been like I said, I did a lot of research, and there's a lot of reaction channels of comics that I actually watch, and a lot of it is like, dude, like you literally have to protect, like, people steal jokes every single day, and regardless of how you put it in context or how the person that stole it put it in context, it's still your joke. They still stole your joke. So I mean, and from the Steve Harvey.
For a show, Hanging with Mr. Cooper was a great show.
It was a really great show. So was the Steve Harvey show. Steve Harvey show was great too.
And I don't think that particular, because he said he stole his whole show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Steve Harvey stole that show. I just think, they created a show. Like, did Steve Harvey didn't write the Steve Harvey show? Did he?
I would have to look it up and see. I'm gonna check it.
I don't think he wrote that show. I don't think he directed or produced that show. So that there, while the shows were similar, I don't think you can pin that directly on Steve Harvey. Now, stealing the jokes, I saw the joke that he stole. And I saw how upset Mark Curry was about that. And Mark Curry was upset about stealing. He was upset, and he said he addressed Steve Harvey about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, so from what I'm seeing is the Steve Harvey show was created by a Golden Girls writer. Winifred Hervey Winifred is a woman's name? That's crazy. Creator Winifred Hervey got her start on Rhoda and wrote episodes for Laverne and Shirley, Monk, Mindy, Benson, The New Odd Couple, The Cosby Show before becoming an Emmy-winning writer-producer for the Golden Girls. So It was written by somebody else. Says the series pay homage to TV stars of the 90s. Saturday Night Live cast member was a recurring role. So it was a lot of different things about it, but it was not written by Steve Harvey, but it was produced by Steve Harvey.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's a lot of digging that you need to do. And I think that's maybe what Katt is trying to get us to do is because, like I said, he said in that interview, 2024 will be the year the lies are exposed. So maybe, he's throwing nuggets and requiring us to do a little bit of digging to find out exactly what he's talking about to see what's true, what's real and what's fake.
Hold on, let me rephrase that before somebody in the comments go at my neck. It was co-produced by Steve Harvey. It was produced by Stan Lathan, who also produced Sanford and Son. So let me clear that up.
Stan Lathan, yeah.
Before y'all get in the comments on my neck real quick, let me clear that up. But
I mean, they're already gonna be in the comments, so it don't matter, man.
Yes, I already know. But yeah, but to give my closing statement on it, he went, just like D-Lo said, he went nuclear in this interview, and he was saying a lot of different things that you can do research and find some truth in what he's saying, but you also have to be subjective about what he's saying as well, and form your own opinion about what he's saying. And me personally, I'm on the side of he telling the truth because there's so many receipts out there that prove what he's saying. And that you can find there's so many receipts that you can find some truth in what he's saying, at least. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But he's never, just like D-Lo said too earlier in the segment, he's never been known to be a liar. I've never seen an instance as to where he lied. I have seen a lot of instances where people have tried to lie on him and say that he was something that he really wasn't. So he
does that to himself too, a little bit, to some degree too, though.
How? By
the predicaments that he gets himself in with the amounts of arrests that he has. I mean, I know that doesn't always tell the full story, but how do you get in a predicament where you're fighting a 12-year-old?
True.
How do you get in a predicament? So that's where it's like, again, I love Katt Williams. I don't want it to seem like I don't. I think he's an intelligent, great comedian. But this is where the conflict comes, is when you see this portion of him, everything I just mentioned, but then he goes on a podcast, Club Shay Shay, and just seems like, based off what he says, tells the truth. It's just conflicting because, the image that we have of Katt Williams, the comedian off the stage, and the image that we have of him on the stage versus the image of all the people that he discussed, other than a select few, is it's conflicting. It's like, okay, you're saying this, but I know this about you off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I know this about them on the stage and off the stage. It's just tough.
Yeah.
So
it is. I agree.
The question the question that I left out of this with though, and I don't care if we use the whole freaking show to talk about this.
You got it.
About Katt Williams and everything he talked about. Why does it? I don't know much about other cultures.
Mm-hmm.
I do know Black culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do anyway. Why does it seem like we have to tear each other down all the time?
Yeah,
like it seems like everything, every industry or every aspect that Black culture is in, we're butting heads with each other. Oh, you ain't this, I'm this. We always putting each other against each other. And I know, capitalism, it's competition and all that. So, survival of the fittest. But everybody, all of our top leaders, all of our top entertainers, basketball players, other than the select few, always going at each other. And he said it best, all division divides.
Mm-hmm.
We're divided. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
We've talked about this a lot on this podcast, where between relationships to business to sports to a lot of avenues in the Black culture is divided, and I don't understand why that is. I don't. You rarely hear any other culture out there talking about the division within their culture and their societies, other than us. And it's sad, man, because our culture, our heritage was the one we had to fight the most for. Mm-hmm. And we're not upholding that to the utmost degree from what we had to fight for, and the rights that we had to fight for, and the equality we had to fight for, and things of that nature within our community. And we're continuously dividing ourselves, and it's like crabs in a barrel, bro, all the time. It's always crabs in a barrel. And I don't personally understand it.
I don't get it.
And it's one of those things where if you look at, I'm gonna take this. I'm not that I'm taking a stance on it, but I'm gonna turn it into a different avenue with this. Is that if somebody was behind my back talking about me about something, I would defend myself too. And you could kind of look at what Katt Williams did as self-defense, because I wouldn't let nobody talk about me or you or anybody who I love behind their back without me responding to that. Like, oh, what the fuck is you talking about? That's my nigga. Like, nah, you're not gonna talk about my boy in front of my face behind his back and not get a response from me. So explain yourself, type shit. So if I was getting bashed in society and on social media in the industry, and I'm not going to defend myself, that's crazy. But at the same time, you can look at it as what you said. Why is another a black man pulling another black man down? But
and I'm not even saying it. I'm not even saying it like that specifically, right? I'm just saying, why is it at every turn in every industry that we are involved in, do the majority of those at the top in the Black community have to be butting heads? So, and the reason I asked that is because I had a conversation with my another one of my best friends about what we need to do in the Black community to change things. Mm-hmm. And the thing that he said was, the people at the top, the Blacks at the top that make all the money, need to collaborate and get together and do this and that. First thing I said was, well, the white community don't ask, or any other community doesn't ask their top entertainers, their top earners to pull together stuff and create stuff. They have it as a whole, right? They own the majority of stuff in America. Their net worth is $70,000 richer than those in the Black community. So they can, as a whole community, pool their money together and just do better. But we ask our entertainers to put their money in to make it better for the Black community. However, everybody is butting heads and don't want to collaborate. And when they do collaborate, at the last minute, something falls apart because some random story comes out about whatever, and then now they're feuding. It's just, to me, it's just tiring, man, because it's obvious that our community needs to do better, but for whatever reason, we don't do better because we can't come together as a unit to understand what it is that we need to do to get over. So that's why I'm like, why do we always? Why is this always?
But you know why though?
You know
why though? Is because in our community, everything is, and this is just how I feel. This is my own opinion. In our community, everything is based off public perception. We care about what other people think about us, and if I feel, and I don't personally give a fuck. I honestly don't care what y'all say to me in the comments. It just bothers me because I love this podcast so much, and y'all talking about the podcast. Y'all not talking about me. Y'all talking about us. You know what I'm saying? The podcast. So that's why it bothers me sometimes in the comments. But regardless of that, a lot of our people care what the public perception of us is, and if we feel like we're coming together with another Black artist or another Black comedian or actor or whatever, and we're trying to collaborate and do something great, if we feel slighted in some way by that person, we're going to tell the world about it and see what the world thinks if they're going to be on our side or the other person's side. That's what don't matter. Our opinion of what y'all do with y'all money and y'all's life and y'all's relationships and y'all's career, that shouldn't be none of our business. But social media has made it our business. And our people run to social media much more than the other people do.
I wouldn't say that, but I get what you're saying.
Well, I guess I can only talk because I'm honestly only in this culture. Right. So I don't know. Right. I don't really know what the other culture is. But with this podcast, I have kind of opened myself up to other things. And especially with the podcast page on our social media pages, it's like I try to keep it away from a lot of Black culture. I try to bring in a lot of other things as well. And I rarely see a lot of other cultures putting their personal business or their personal feuds on the internet. We do it far more than they do. The other cultures do, and it's weird because it's the idea of what public perception is about me. What does everybody think about me? Not what I and my partner or my business partner or my teammate thinks about me. No. Because that's the personal relationship. But what does the world think about me? And I think that's what the issue is. To me, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, that's just a question that I had. The first thing I thought about after watching that interview, but then also you said you did the research. After researching, I'm like, why are we always divided? And why are
it don't make sense to me
individuals always butting heads or going at each other in public? Like I can understand behind the scenes, you're going to have your spats. You're not going to get along with everybody. We understand that. Everybody's not for you. You're not for everybody. But why do it in public? Like you said, okay, I mean, yeah, you did say it. There's not on public display as often as it is in the Black culture. And and maybe it's just because all I really know is the Black culture for the most part.
Yeah, true.
And I don't really know of any other public disputes in other cultures. And if they are, they're very far and few in between that I know. But it was just like, dang, like it seemed like every other month, every year for sure, you have some star button heads with another star, some feud going on between, some beef, some drama going on. It's like, when's enough? When can we come together and actually do something to change the trajectory of our culture? Because it's been projected within the next 15 years or so. Like I said, the average net worth for Black America is, I think, $17,000, if that. And the average net worth for white America is $75,000. It's been projected that that's going to be zero in the next 15 years for Black crazy. America. That's when can we change that?
I don't know. I don't know when. I know
we took a turn. It took a turn from talking about Katt Williams, but that was the thing I had, and that was spark my. That's why I was like, dang, that has to be talked about. We have to address that somewhere.
Oh, y'all still here. So that must mean y'all love the content. And if that is the case, there's a video on the screen right here. Go ahead and click that, view that one. You're going to love that one as well. Also, we have another goal for subscribers. We want to hit 600 subscribers. So go ahead and hit that button on the screen right there. So you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And we're on all your streaming platforms, wherever you find your podcasts.